Welcome to Teetotally Awesome. This is a place where we're going to talk about all things awesome that don't include alcohol. Well, my teetotally awesome thing this week has to do with Silver Soaps got a new home. It moved out of its alcoholic family, Handbrewed Soaps, and now has its own house and its own website. So I am super excited about that one. So just for background, Handbrewed Soaps, you and I created Handbrewed Soaps about 11 years ago, where you and I married our passions together. You were full blown into the beer brewing, homebrewed scene. You made a lot of beer and I was making soap. And I found a recipe online. You can make soap out of beer. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. So I started to do that. And in retrospect now, I think I did that because I was like, oh, I don't want people to think we're alcoholics. We have so much beer and we're drinking so much. I'll just say we're making it for the soap. So that's kind of funny. But in our, at the height of Handbrewed Soaps, we were in 150 different stores nationwide. I was able to quit my teaching job and, and then you and I, about 3 years ago, came to the realization that we needed not to have alcohol in our lives for our family and for one another. And so, through rehab and AA and Al-Anon, we got sober. And then came that wrestle, right, for me, of how do I run a soap company that's based off of alcohol, knowing what it does to our family, and not, no judge, it doesn't happen for everybody, but for our family, alcohol had a certain connotation for it. And for me, I couldn't, we weren't invested in the lifestyle anymore, and we were invested in the sober scene. And that's when you came up with, well, then why don't you just start making sober soaps? So 1.5 years ago, we started that line of soap. But still having a very hard time breaking those two apart, try to keep them together, the beer soaps, the wine soaps, and with sober soap, and just realized that it's time that they become two separate things. So anyway, I'm excited to announce Sober Soaps has its own website.
Yeah, that's super cool. Probably a long time coming on that one, but it was also, I think, part of the big plan back then was, you had a big customer base, continued the Handbrewed Soaps that you established. It wouldn't have made sense to drop it right away.
Yeah.
Over the past year, you have transitioned to a point where you've grown the Sober Soaps business, and it has surpassed the business that Handbrewed Soaps is doing. But you also didn't promote that, and
well, a lot of it, like I didn't. A lot of it is I had a lot of fear around it. Just kind of like the stigma of being sober and like working through that. So that was fascinating. So all the people that are like recovering out loud, like I really admired that. Though I was never one to do that, but now I feel like I can, but it took me to feel safe and secure within my own sobriety and recognizing myself as a sober ally, for that to happen. Does that make sense? Like we all do it on our own time. It just took me a while, So
took you a while to
be able to talk about my own sobriety and the sobriety of Sober Soaps, right? Like in what it does, like our soap is there to encourage people to continue on their sobriety journey. That's what it's all about, right? You get a bar of soap, it has stay clean stamped on it. Your box, I should have my soap here so that people can see. Oh, well. But the box itself has, insert picture here. The box itself has, a saying on it, happy sober birthday. I love sober you. So that, you could gift it to yourself or a sober ally can continue to encourage you. So, and then now I'm really excited. Over this past summer, you and I kind of brainstormed on our 30-day road trip that we could give back to the community, right? We can give 50% of our profits to communities, recovery groups, and even individuals. So that's exciting. So that's been happening in our first couple of months with that new mission. So I just feel really good about, helping people. That's what I want to do. I just want to help people.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, that was a sequence of ideas that came about between Twin Falls, Idaho, and
Elko, Nevada.
somewhere in Armpit, Nevada. So no offense, Nevada.
Oh,
Sorry, just that was not the highlight of our trip. But we did come up with some great ideas driving through Nevada. But yeah, I mean, the negative stigma thing is whole, like, that's probably another conversation completely. But it's so ironic that there's fear around, talking about it because of the negative stigma, when in reality, what people who have gone to rehab and people who have gotten sober think about what they've done. Think about what we've done is we say, wow, I've got a problem, right? How many people have a problem and haven't even admitted it? So first step is like, hey, I have a problem, and two, I'm actually going to go do something about it. And those people who went to rehab and they've gotten sober and still stay sober should be celebrated, because they've taken a huge positive step in their life. But yeah, I agree with you. I've also been kind of closed about it and reserved about talking about it. But at this point, it's like it's who I am.
Yeah.
I acknowledge very confidently, like, I had a problem with alcohol, and I dealt with it, and I continue dealing with it. It's a daily struggle sometimes, usually weekly, monthly. It's, the longer I think you are sober, that feeling or sensation subsides.
Yeah.
Cravings, things like that. Yeah, after 3 years, you're like, that's just who I am.
Yeah. Well, maybe now this is our way to recover out loud, right? Like, to be with those people that, may need to be quiet still, right? To understand really what's going on. Because that's, being an INFJ, you're an INFP or T, or you're an INF something, right? Like, a lot of that is like the inner work. And that once we like grapple with that inner work and understand it, which is that brain piece that you were talking about, then we can share it with the world, because we understand the inner workings of what's going on. But while the inner workings is going on, I'm kind of like, I'm not going to talk about it because there's something moving within here, but I don't know what it is and I can't express it.
Yeah. So that's
sense.
where I think that your business plan is much more in line and true to you and true to our lifestyles now.
Yeah.
In that, those little messages that people get, I mean, it's so brilliant. I mean, you had talked about, this isn't exactly what you had talked about, but a long time ago, you talked about cleaning up Oakland one bar at a time. Remember that? That was probably 8-10 years ago.
And now we have Keep Oakland Healthy bar with a pandemic. So that kind of came into fruition, but go ahead.
Yeah. No, so you're just finding these ways of your business supporting those things. And before, it was like, I wouldn't say that you're necessarily supporting something unless you're supporting people, like celebrating the use of alcohol through soap. I mean, it's not like you were promoting alcohol, but it was beer and wine soap. So, it kind of was, but that aligned with our lifestyle. Now it doesn't. So you've transitioned to something that does serve and does, I think it brings a really, really cool, fun message to other people who are sober or even considering jumping into sobriety. So it's super cool what you're doing.
For those that are listening or watching, we encourage you to go check out sobersoaps.com and see what's going on over there. Well, we'll see everybody next time. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, continue being teetotally awesome.
Yeah, right. Be teetotally awesome. That was dumb. Let's try it again. Be
teetotally
awesome. We need to work on that one.
Thanks. This was fun.
It was fun. Bye.